Holy crap, guys. When this video posts, we'll be 2 days away from the drop of Season 5 of Stranger Things. I'm pretty stoked. If you can't tell, this is all the emotion on my face that I can muster. I'm sorry. I want to see what Big Boy Hopper does, if he keeps bullying Millie Bobby Brown. What the whole deal with that is, I don't know. But I am stoked to see Season 5, Volume 1. It's coming out on November 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Really weird time, but pretty smart on Netflix's part, so everyone can watch it right before they settle down for Thanksgiving football and turkey and they pass out. Now, before we begin, let's get a few things out of the way. First, there will be a time jump starting in Season 5. I believe it's 18 months into the fall of 1987. The kids are going to be 47 years old by now. What else do we know? The military has quarantined Hawkins. This is going to be interesting because the military is going to obviously play a secondary villain to Vecna. So that's kind of where we've left it. Max is in a coma. Vecna's coming back to Hawkins. The other thing we do know is this is going to be the end for this cast and crew. The Duffer Brothers have said there's not going to be any direct live action sequels. They did say there's going to be an animated prequel, I believe, and a stage play. I don't know if I believe the Duffer Brothers 100%, but we'll see about no direct live sequels. Netflix may dump a pile of cash in their front lawn and they may change their minds, or they could just laugh because they already have a pile of cash in their bedrooms ready to go. So let's get into it. This is Mike for Right on Cue, and on this channel I do deep dives into hidden gems, retro rewinds, my first impressions on new things coming out, basically covering everything that's on streaming so you have a better idea of things that to watch, things not to watch, and to remind you of things that are on that maybe you forgot about or maybe you never got around to watching. Please like and subscribe and follow the channel. It really means a lot to me. It really helps the channel out. So with that out of the way, let's go on to my 5 predictions of what's going to happen in Stranger Things Season 5. Prediction number 1. Let's start with Max, the emotional core of the season. She really had a big part of Season 4, and when we last left her, she was blind, broken, and in a coma in the hospital. We know that 11 went to the void and didn't find anything. The reason for that is probably because Max is stuck in Vecna's mind, and that's where she's going to be for most of the season. I think most of her scenes are going to be away from the other kids, and she will be actively fighting Vecna on the inside while everyone else fights Vecna on the outside. She's basically going to be a spy on the inside and give information to the team on how to hurt him, how to dismantle his defenses so that 11 can go in and deliver the final blow. So I do think Max is going to have a big part in the season. I believe there are set photos of her filming with the actor for Vecna, so I don't think you're going to see a thing where you see one scene of Max in the hospital and then maybe she dies or something like that. She's going to be an active part of the whole season. I firmly believe that. Prediction number 2, the Kas Theory. Now, bear with me. For this, I had to do a little research because I am not a big D&D guy. I never played D&D. I still haven't played D&D. It looks cool, it looks fun, but I have not been involved. So I don't know the lore or the specifics, but I did do a little research on some of these predictions. So I guess in D&D lore, Vecna is ultimately betrayed by Kas the Bloody-Handed, who is a lieutenant. This will mark the return of Eddie Munson. We never see Eddie's body come out of the Upside Down. He just dies to the demo bats as he's playing that dope riff from Master of Puppets. Popular prediction going around is that Eddie Munson will not just return as a cameo or a one-off or a dream or anything like that. He's gonna return in a full role as Kas the Bloody-Handed. So in the beginning of the season, he will be a dark version of himself. He will be working for Vecna, trying to defeat his enemies. But ultimately, just like in D&D lore, he will probably fight back. His metal soul will come out, defeat what's controlling him, and he will help the Hawkins kids defeat Vecna in the end. I do believe that will happen. He was so popular. He's probably the breakout character from Season 4. This would be a proper way to send him off, helping defeat the ultimate big bad of the show. So Eddie Munson will return, I believe, in a full role and not just a little cameo or a dream, and he will play a pivotal role in defeating Vecna. Now for prediction number 3, we're going all the way back to Season 1. This has been talked about forever. When are we going to see Barb? So for all of those who don't know, Barb met an unfortunate end in Season 1. She was Nancy's friend. They went to a party together. Nancy went up with Steve to get busy, but sad little Barb couldn't get any, so she went outside and was just chilling, and she got sucked down into the Upside Down world and ultimately killed. This has plagued Nancy for a long time because she basically abandoned her friend at this party, and because of her friend got dragged into this thing and killed. There has to be a resolution to this. I believe she will physically have to go to the Upside Down world, find Barb's body, and either fully finish her off, save her, whatever the case may be. But I do think there's going to be a full resolution of that story arc. Again, I don't know how much of a stretch this is because I'm pretty sure this will happen. I think her whole Purpose will just be maybe one episode to tie up Nancy's guilt from season 1, and then she'll be off, never to be seen again. I think what really resonated with a lot of people with Barb is that we've all felt like outcasts at parties or been a little introverted or shy, just like Barb did in that scene, and we all kind of resonate with her a little bit, I think, especially the people watching this show. So I think her character really connected with a lot of people, even though her screen time was so low. I think finally we're going to get a resolution to that. It's going to be really satisfying. Prediction number 4, and I think this is the thing most people want to talk about. Who's going to die? Because when series wraps up, they tend to take the axe to their characters. I personally don't think as many characters will die in Stranger Things as some people think. I don't think it's that kind of show. We've been watching these kids grow up for, oh man, 10 years now, basically, and that these kids aren't even kids anymore. I don't think it'll serve the Duffer Brothers or the story well to kill off a bunch of characters needlessly. So I don't think you're just gonna see people dying left and right. The popular belief around the internet is that Steve Harrington is gonna die. I personally don't think he will die. So this is my hot take. I don't think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna be serving as a red herring throughout the season where everyone expects him to die, and he's gonna be in these close calls a lot of times, but I don't actually think he's gonna die. I think he's gonna make it through the end. Killing him now will be too easy of a death because everyone expects it, and it won't have quite the emotional impact that I think the Duffer Brothers need if they're going to do a big death. So I think Steve Harrington will actually survive and be an integral part of rebuilding Hawkins after all this is said and done. But that's not to say that no one will die. So the character who I do think will die will be Will. Now, you know, it started with Will. In season 1, he was the first one connected and abducted, and I think it's gonna end with Will. He still has a connection with Vecna. You see him touching his neck, so he can feel Vecna, Vecna can feel him. And I think it's gonna come down to a situation where the only way that they can ensure that Vecna never comes back is to kill or sacrifice his connection to this world, and in that being Will. I think Will makes the ultimate sacrifice in the final episode or 2 to save the day. I think he'll be in a very important part of beating Vecna, but ultimately I do think he will die. Some people think there's gonna be a lot of deaths or other people will die. I personally don't think any of the other kids will die. I think Max will be saved ultimately. I think 11 will use up all her powers to defeat Vecna and become basically a normal girl, which if you remember back in season 1, that's kind of really all she wants. So I don't think she's gonna die either. I think she's gonna use up her powers and go on with Mike and do her little thing. I don't think any of the adults are gonna die either. I actually don't think a lot of people are gonna die. I think there's gonna be a lot of close calls, some hairy situations, but I just don't see this series ending with a bunch of people being killed. It just doesn't seem right to me. I think Steve lives, Will dies. That's gonna be the big switcheroo. And now for prediction number 5, my final prediction. I think season 1 is gonna end very dark. I think that if you know screenwriting and storytelling, there always has to be a moment where your heroes feel out their lowest before they ultimately rise and succeed. I think that will be the end of season 1. I'm sorry, volume 1, which is this first 4 episodes that are coming out on the 26th. I think the grown-ups will go into the upside down world. There's an episode called The Crawl, so I think they're gonna crawl in to fight Vecna on that front. And I think the volume 1 is gonna end with Murray sacrificing himself to save Joyce and Hopper. So I think that will be kind of the big death. It's a big enough character that we've seen for multiple seasons that's gonna have an impact, but it's not so huge that it's gonna turn off a lot of viewers, like something like The Walking Dead with killing Glenn and Abraham. Like, it was just too much. And there's talk of, will the other parents get involved? I believe I've read that Holly, who is Mike's sister, may be abducted, and this will cause Karen to finally get involved. I do think she'll get involved because they're gonna be under quarantine. There's gonna be this military presence. She will get involved, and I think maybe her, Murray, Joyce, and Hopper are gonna go to the upside down world, maybe to get Holly back, but also to fight Vecna on that front. And that's where I think Murray will sacrifice himself at the end of volume 1. I also think at the end of volume 1, the military blockade will fail. Vecna will break through, and it'll just seem like everything is falling apart. Vecna will be up here, our heroes will be down here, and we'll have this gulf that we have to fix in the last couple episodes. You have to have that really bleak moment. That moment like in Rocky where he's down and you think he's finally down for the count before he rises back up and wins. You gotta have your characters overcome all these obstacles. I think that's what's gonna happen at the end of volume 1. Vecna's gonna be whooping ass. Our kids, who are grown-ups now, are gonna be licking their wounds, but not out of the fight. And there you have it. Those are my 5 predictions for what's gonna happen in season 5 of Stranger Things. I'm probably way off and you're probably laughing at me. So let me know, leave a like, a comment, let me know what you think is gonna happen. Are my predictions way off? Are they correct? What do you guys think? I would love to hear from you. I think it's really fun to engage in this kind of discourse because I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. If you made it this far, you may as well follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. You may as well leave a comment and a like and subscribe to the channel to help me continue growing. It won't cost you anything and it won't take up too much of your time, but it will mean the world to me and it will really help me out. And once the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things drops, I will do a special episode that will drop on Sunday where I give you my first impressions of those first 4 episodes. It won't be a detailed review or an overview or a summary or anything like that. It's just gonna be me spitballing and dropping my impressions on what I thought of the first 4 episodes, a clean, raw, you know, was it cool, was it bad, were my predictions way off, were they accurate, just because it's fun. So definitely check that out. And until next time, stop scrolling, start watching.